showtime.
Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, back credit. Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let them have it.
I've got my dollars and I sit in my best offer.
We say yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem.
Hello, everyone, and good morning on, as y'all most know, some people call this Taco Tuesday. How's everybody doing this morning? First in the chat today to get that pie point is Papa Smurf. Hello, Papa Smurf, and welcome. Then we have Stephen. Hello, welcome, listening, and while I'm working. Well, thank you. Tom Cruise in the house. Good morning, Tom. Good to see you. Wendy's in the house. Hello, Lucky Charms Wendy. Paul, the Value Resellers. Hello, good morning, and welcome. Tina, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Good morning, hello, and welcome. Resale Royalty 74. Dr. Jennifer. I always have trouble saying it. Good morning, Jennifer. Hello and welcome. Adam Exploit. Hello. Good morning and welcome. Kevin's working and lurking. Thank you so much for being here, Kevin. And each and every one of you every morning. Hello to Yinzer Picker, Mr. Mike with his new show every Monday night. I'm sorry I missed it last night because I went to bed early. Dayton Valley Deals, Miss Angie. Hello, good morning and welcome. Yes, it is. Good, I remembered. All right. I'm trying to remember the new names as I see y'all coming in and find y'all in other chats. Mr. Early Bird Picker. Hello, and welcome. Good morning. So without further ado, please, let's give a, don't say tacos, you will wake up James. Oh yeah, he's not even home. He sent me a message already on Facebook. So without further ado, please give a large, warm, and loving welcome to our guest today. You may know her, you may not. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring her on, Miss Treasure Noir, Miss Kayla. Hello.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
All right, so let me do this. Well, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, give you like a little elevator type speech, letting everybody know a little bit about you for those who may not know who you are. And I'll go ahead and get your information, put it in the chat, and pin it to the top of the chat while you do that.
For sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Kayla. I'm a clothing reseller. I also do accessories and shoes and all that too. But good morning. I see everybody saying hi in the chat. Hello. Good morning. So yeah, I'm a vintage clothing and kind of nerd themed clothing reseller. I try to be, at least. I do have some other things, but I mostly sell on Poshmark. I do a little bit of eBay, and yeah. That's me in a nutshell.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this real quick because I saw some others come in. Ms. Joyce, hello.
Oh.
Good morning and welcome.
Kevin, I see you're in the chat. See, I wore a hat for you today because I know you asked me to wear a hat. So
good morning, Jennifer. Hello, and welcome. Hope you and your daughters are doing well. Your daughter is doing well. Excuse me. I love reselling vintage clothing. Do you sell on Etsy?
I don't sell on Etsy, but I'm taking it one platform at a time. So it's on my list for sure.
Angie said she loved watching your videos and bloopers yesterday.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm such a dork.
Hello, Miss Sharon. Hello, hello. Good morning and welcome. Love the hat, Kevin says.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, what got you starting to do reselling, and how long have you been doing it?
So I had done it casually, for years and years and years. Just, I would go to flea markets and everything. But really COVID was kind of the push into it, because I work a 9 to 5 and I have a corporate job, and I saw lots of people around me getting furloughed, and it was quite scary. So I was like, I need to have a backup plan. I've been on my Poshmark and I've sold a few things here and there, and so I was like, okay, started grabbing stuff around the house that I had and started listing it. Also around COVID time is when I decided to take the plunge into dressing a little more of my authentic self too. So I was tired of wearing sweatpants every day and being a slob. You get into the mindset of, just being down on yourself. Right. And I was like, I want to feel fancy,
I love it. Every time I see you, no matter whose channel you're on, if you're on as a guest or you're just on helping and doing listing or whatever the case may be, you always dress to impress, and I love that.
Yes.
I'm the one I first met you.
Absolutely. I'm the one who definitely comes up to, a casual party. I'm the one who comes in like a full ball gown. So, because it's fun. Why not,
And so what got you into YouTube, and how long you been doing YouTube?
So I had thought about starting my YouTube for quite some time, and I just never got the confidence. We all have that little voice in our head that just, tells us that we're not worth it. Mm-hmm. And I had been working at home, and I saw that Josh from Harry Tornado was going live, and he was inviting people to come in. And I was sitting working, and I had no makeup on, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I ran into my bathroom and I put some makeup on and jumped on his channel. And it was just such an authentic talk with him that, and he encouraged me so much. And then seeing you right after me on the channel, I was like, oh, I love this guy. I want to talk to him more, So, and then I've been smitten ever since.
Yeah, you and I were both in the back room, and when you went first, it's like, oh, I like her. I got to check out the channel. And so he basically was telling you to put your links in the chat. And so, that's the day I actually met you, was on his channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was so much fun. And then just the encouragement from everybody in the chat and all the community, I really appreciate it. And it's just been so fun. It's been a great ride so far. Still on it, but
that's
one
right.
step at a time.
That's all you can do. That's right.
Yeah.
So when you do go sourcing, do you have any particular favorite place that when you go sourcing, it's your always the go-to place that you like to source?
So I have a few thrift stores that I like to go to. I have one in particular that I haven't been to in a little while. I like to support smaller thrift stores, especially those who are nonprofit. Right. I'm a huge animal lover. I have cats, and I love all animals, dogs, cats, except for roaches. I can't stand roaches, but
that's not bad.
I have a bleeding heart for everything on 4 legs or 8 legs or 6 legs, and it's, I love supporting animal thrift stores, and I have one that I go to quite often. But other than that, I don't have really my go-to spots. I switched up all the time, because it's not about the location. It's about what's donated at that location. You've got to be in the right time, the right place. It's right. Because, I always look at it when I first started reselling. I was like, man, I can never find Lululemon. Man, everybody's telling me to buy Lululemon. Oh my gosh. And I can't find it. And then I started to realize, I was like, you know what? This store could have had 10 pieces of Lululemon, and the lady right before me probably bought it all.
Yeah.
So it's just time and place, you know. And don't get discouraged. So that was a tangent. Tell me to shut up, Johnny, please.
Nope, that's what this is about. We want to hear the best parts of it. And the worst. Jennifer just posted also that Kevin is only 8 away from 300. Let's see if we can get him there and see if you're subscribed. Remember, if you go to someone's link, hit the right side of the link. See if you're subscribed by adding it. Open it to another page, because if you do that while you're in the chat, it will take you away from the chat. So make sure you right click on it. And if it's red, the word subscribe is in red. That means you either lost the subscription or that you are not subscribed to that person. And that way you can change it and also set your reminders by hitting all 3 notification bells at the very top of all 3. Hello, Amber from Au Crochet. Hello, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Amber.
Our guest today is Kayla. She's at the top link in the blue. Her information, if you haven't checked out her channel before. If you haven't, her link's there to where you can subscribe to her and check her out. If you have any questions, put the word question in capital letters, or just put at Cajun Roots Research.
Oh,
so I can see. So when you do go sourcing, is there anything that you refuse to pick up, will not pick up to resell in any any way of possible?
So I'm not below picking up anything in particular. I'm always hesitant when it comes to things that I don't know about, you know, and I will usually send photos to somebody. I'm like I'm just learning a little bit more about comic books too, but I have no clue, you know, and to me, that I don't refuse it. I kind of leave it for somebody else who is a little more knowledgeable, you know. Like, I'll find a great pair of, you know, new tag shoes, and I'm like, I know those are good shoes, I know they sell for good money, but I know there's other resellers out there looking for them, or somebody on the street, you know, would want them.
Right.
So I leave a lot of stuff for other people, you know, and I kind of squirrel off and pick up some other vintage or like graphic tees or something, or video games, you know. But there's all right.
We got a comment for you from my sister from I call her my sister from New Orleans. That's my best friend. That's Hillary Shelby. She says, "Good morning, Johnny. You're still my boo, but I love the blue hat. You're rocking it."
Thank you.
So good to see her every time she does come in. So let me ask you this: when you're sourcing.
Yeah.
And like in this case, I do see a lot of different hats you're wearing. You always have some nice clothing you're wearing, all vintage. Is there anything that when you're shopping that you say, okay, do I need it to keep for myself, or do I keep it and buy it and resell it? What is the hardest thing for you on anytime you're buying something like that?
Oh, it has to be the accessories, the jewelry and the hats. And it's too warm down here to wear gloves, but you know, it's definitely the accessories I have a hard time letting go. So, because I'm that person who wears a pair of earrings and then sets them down in my car and then like loses them forever within my car. So
and one of those things you just can't find after, right?
Right. So like earrings and sunglasses, I never buy anything like over $10 because I know I'm just going to set it down somewhere and leave it as a treasure for somebody else to find. Right. You know?
Exactly. She is also very funny. Yes, she is. So when you do go sourcing though, is there any, I know you do a lot of vintage. So what would be the oldest things you've ever found when going sourcing that you kind of wanted for yourself, but you did go ahead and let it go and sell it?
I didn't actually end up picking it up, but I remember a very specific time. So it was kind of towards the end of lockdown for the state of New York. And I went and visited my mother, and she lives in upstate New York. And we went to a former department store that is now an antique mall. And somebody had a booth in there, and there was a, so there's back in like the 1940s, they used to have like 4-piece suits for women.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the shirt, the vest, the skirt, and an overcoat or a swing coat. And those are so hard to find. And there was one there at that antique store, and they didn't want too much for it, but it was just a little too damaged. And I remember like, and it was just a little smidgen too tight for me too. And I was like, I could resell it because they only wanted like $35 for it, but I didn't have any room in my suitcase too. And I was, I sat there for at least 45 minutes, like hemming and hawing about this. But that is like the one specific time I remember, like I could resell this. The 4-piece suits go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, especially if it's true 1940s. And it, you know, that stuff, it's all falling apart at this point, you know, and or it's already in the collection of some lovely person. And to see it there, you know, in okay condition, it was a heartbreak. So yeah, that was like the one time that I was like, yeah.
What is the oldest, the most vintage piece that you ever found to resell? And if so, if you have, what was it? What did you sell it for, if you remember?
It has to be. I had an old brooch, and it had to be 1940s, 1930s. I think it was Bakelite, but it was. I sold it for a good amount of money. I think it was like a $50 brooch. So, but that was prior to me starting my Poshmark. Like I said, I used to do like flea market and stuff, but I remember that. Oh, a little tip for everybody. Look for the vintage brooches that aren't metal. Because during like the 1940s, that's a thing. If you see like a wooden brooch or like a Bakelite brooch, remember they were all giving metal to the war effort. So it's a really little quick tip to identify something that's around that age. So, but yeah, Bakelite was great, beautiful. Sold it for like $50 or $60. A little brooch. It was like that big. So
that is awesome. So yeah, everybody's putting links in the chat. Jennifer's dropping links for everybody in the chat. When you go to someone's link and right click it and open it to another tab, if you were to check and see, if you go to that page or that channel and it's the description's in red, that means one, either when they purged it, you lost it, or you haven't subscribed before. And I know we do, but just double check. And if it's red, just change it to gray. And then right next to it, make sure you do hit the bell of all notifications. But one little tip, try to watch a video or two here and there so you don't lose those subscriptions. A lot of times that may be why this is happening. We don't know, but we do know that people are losing other subscribers there. So definitely do that.
I wasn't subscribed to Kevin. It knocked me off Kevin's YouTube.
Yeah, like
so
this
I just
we have who is the trying to remember who today's I'm having a brain freeze of who our channel is for the week. Jigsaw Jen. Last week we were at the lake and Robert was like number 11, I was number 12, and then the very next day she was down to 1 sub.
Oh my goodness.
So weird, yeah. So she is the featured channel for the week. If you haven't checked out the community page, I do a new channel each Friday morning, so it's up for one whole complete week. They just don't want to pay anyone. Oh, okay. Veronica, hello. Also Peddling Profits, hello, good morning and welcome. Adam said he is 31 away from 150. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Chuck, Never Ending Saga.
I saw that Roman wanted a hat like mine. Roman, I will look for you. You want it in black though, so.
Yeah, if you want it in black, you're right. Good morning, Adam Exploits. How are you doing? Don't forget this tomorrow. I will be on his channel at 7 p.m. Eastern as his guest. Sandra, hello, good morning and welcome. You're working and lurking. Thank you so much. I've tried my hand at brooches this past week and an estate sale, but I bought 4 of them. I will see how they'll do. Yeah, a lot of times it's just a matter of taking a chance on things like that. Sometimes then be careful when you go ahead and always remember when you're posting something and you're selling it on any of your platforms, don't be afraid to list it up a little higher because you can always come down, and that way you have a little leeway for offers. for a while, not moving. Good news, guys. 2 resellers are here in Cleveland. I have good news. 2 resellers are here in Cleveland visiting Forster and the Picker. We're going to go to good. Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Okay, we have some, okay, we got a question here. Can you share with the chat, how do you test your Bakelite?
Bakelite, yes. So I don't have a specific way I test. It's with me, it is just personal experience. I know what Bakelite feels like. I know what it looks like. You know, that's just years of experience. But the main thing is, with a lot of the older plastics, you want to, it's going to be weird. Give it a smell. If it smells like, kind of like how vintage shirts with the black ones, if it has that weird sweet smell, it's sick. You know, there will be a very specific smell. So if you smell one of these old plastics and it smells weird, the plastic is sick, and unfortunately it's disintegrating, you know, and you have to be really careful, because with Bakelite and the older plastics, the sickness can spread to other pieces. So you don't want to put like there was a beautiful estate sale, and there was, you know, like the 1950s square Bakelite purses. Mm-hmm. And there was probably a good like 15 of them, and they wanted a good price for them. But one of them was sick, and they were all together. So I couldn't buy it. You know, I couldn't buy them because the contamination possibly spread to other pieces. You know, I just didn't want to risk it, sending it to somebody and it fall apart within a year or so. Right. You know, so you have to be very careful. Even though they are great money, you know, I was so tempted to buy them, but it's just, you know, once that starts to corrode and everything, that's the main key. Do a little research. There are ways of testing it and to know exactly what it is. But for me personally, it's just, you know, I have fingernails, so I tap things. You know, I tap them and I feel them, I smell them, I get all my senses and I look at it very closely, and you know, I kind of remember how it feels and whatnot. I don't taste it. I don't do that. But
that's the one thing you don't do, right? So when you're tapping it like that, what are you listening for? Because I know usually in the South, when you go to pick a good watermelon or a cantaloupe and you thump on it, is that similar to the same thing? And what are you listening for when you do that?
Yeah. So just, it's so hard to describe. It's more of like a denser, like, than, you know, you touch like random plastic. It's, there's a feel to it, you know, and anybody who's ever held Bakelite knows it's kind of like gold. You know, how do you tell a piece of gold from, you know, a piece of gold plated? It's all feel, and, you know, you hear their soul in the gold. Oh, cool. Know? So there's people say that. I don't know. I can't tell a piece of gold from, you know, a piece of copper. So, but not my department. But I'm sure there's tons of people out there, you know, who know exactly, you know, and I commend those people who are able to go to the thrift store and pick out gold and silver from the cabinet. Right. But yeah, there's tons of tips about Bakelite and whatnot. So, but really that one about make sure that it's not sick, and, you know, and it's, yeah, I mean, I'm talking in circles.
That's okay.
You can stop me.
Flipping Goodies has a statement. He says, anyone selling on Sears.com, I just got approved there, but have no clue if it's even worth the time. I didn't even know Sears.com was even able to be, you can sell on it. Huh. I knew they were having, you can still buy online, and there are some stores still open. But I did not know anything about it being online. So has anyone in the chat ever did Sears.com? Let us know. Again, that's the first for me. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing? Good to see you. New England says, I've been purchasing jars of jewelry. I get a lot of Sarah Coventry and Joan Rivers jewelry. Is there a market for that?
There's a market for anything. Yeah. You just have to, when you're listing it, you just have to be very specific. And, you know, that's I could go into a deep dive about that. when I'm listing random stuff that I don't know if there's a market for, I throw as many keywords in there as possible because there's always that one person. There's always that one person looking for it.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat on GFG. Oh, they're talking to each other there. All right, let's see here. Well, hope you're doing well, Paul. Yeah. I know the way. I just thought you could share with a non-expert if you can use a cotton swab or Q-tip to the inside and see if it's turning yellow.
For sure. Yeah, I know there's ways of testing it. I mean, I'm just, I rely on my intuition a little bit too much,
Well, you've been doing it for a while, so you kind of know what you're looking
Yes.
for. If somebody's doing this for the first time or they happen to come across it,
Absolutely.
those little things can help somebody. With gold, I test it with the acid. I usually test it. I do the same thing.
Yes.
I have acid testers. Now, remember, if you open a container, and it's if you have the acid testers, the liquids itself, the minute you open that cap, 5 to 6 months max is how long that's going to last. So you need to always make sure you get new ones so you don't get a false reading when doing jewelry testing.
Yeah.
I just bought a Craftsman vacuum cleaner, Ace Hardware. I wonder if it's still Sears or they sold the name. I'm not sure.
Huh.
I know there's some still open. Glammy, hello, good morning and welcome, Glams.
Well, I remember kind of on the Sears note, I remember telling people when I first started doing like vintage reselling markets and whatnot to always buy Kenmore sewing machines. I'm a seamstress too. And because they always had lifetime warranties, but now Sears is out of business. So I don't know, So whenever I would see a Kenmore sewing machine, I would purchase it. So that you could, if it was broken, you could send it back to them.
Right.
That was something that was always nice. But
Flippin' Goody says, I had no idea what the heck I would sell anywhere. I will sell anywhere else. Why not add Sears to the mix? You're right about that.
sure.
Now you got everybody checking it out now.
I saw a few people in the chat too. I saw Miss Taffy. Hi, Miss Taffy.
Yes, she just came in. Let's see here. All right, for those who are just coming in, for those who may not know who you are, I'll go ahead and give you the floor again and let everybody know who you are in a nutshell of what you do and where you're at on your where you sell it and all that good stuff about you.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Kayla. I go by Treasures Noir, and I am a vintage clothing and ladies' clothing and men's clothing reseller. I also do like to sell things that are in the nerdier realm, so fandoms. I like to sell graphic tees and any fandom, whether it be like video games or anime or comics. I also really like to sell. I do a little bit of activewear too, and I do shoes and accessories. So I'm mostly on Poshmark. So if you guys have any questions about Poshmark, I'm not a complete expert, but I will try to answer them as much as possible. So yeah.
All right. So with you doing a lot of vintage items, have you or do you think about doing other than clothing or accessories? Do you do anything other than that as far as hard goods?
Oh, yes. I do a lot of glass too. So I ran out of space really quickly when it came to glass and hard goods. I have a Pyrex collection. So I collect vintage Pyrex. So if anybody out there has a good deal on Pyrex, please send it my way. I thought about doing a video of me showing my Pyrex collection because I also started that during quarantine because I'm a squirrel and I do I've got 12 hobbies going at once. So always and forever.
Right. Veronica says, you inspire her stylist. She is inspired by your stylist at 9 a.m. in the morning or any time of the day.
Oh,
Adam says she's always looking pretty
you.
as Snow White.
Oh,
I am still in my PJs and could never look like Kayla at 9 a.m. in the morning.
oh, it's all right.
And I know you were on this past weekend. You were on as a guest on Dina's channel.
Yeah.
And there was something that had a twist to that show with your boyfriend.
Oh,
So
yes.
how long has he been reselling? And talk a little bit about him as well on that.
So my significant other, he is a full-time reseller, and he does large bulk items. So he does estate sale cleanouts and just like, I mean, he cleared out a Walgreens the other day. You know, he was just driving by and saw the store was shutting down, and he talked his way into helping with that. So he deals mostly in large quantity of items. So yeah, that, you know, he's got his own thing. He also sells on eBay too. He does lots of media on eBay. So he'll do video games and DVDs too, kind of the bread and butter items between his large wholesale buyouts. And he does a lot of the flea markets too.
So that brings me to my next question. Being that he does that kind of thing for his business that he does he ever get to find things that are definitely that's something you would be interested in, that you kind of talk your way out of it from him? Absolutely.
So yeah, so he'll, when he's out and about talking to all of his, because he's got a guy for everything, you know. So when he is presented with an offer, because whenever he gets clothing, he just gives it to me. So I'll get a lot of large quantity of clothing all at once, and I'm like, I already have a death pile. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? He's like, I just bought a 400 to 500 piece vintage clothing lot for you, you know, for $100. And he's like, here you go. And I'm like, wow. I've got a year's worth of death pile to list. How am I going? How am I going?
One at a time.
So yeah, a lot of that, when it comes to that, you know, I'll sort it, and I'll be like, okay, I'll pick out specific pieces that I know I can at least double the money. You know, I try not to overwhelm myself with stuff, and you know, but you know, I do. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to list.
I was watching you the other day, and I want to say it was last Thursday, and y'all do a listing thing on I want to say Dina's channel every Thursday night.
Yeah, we do death to the death pile.
That. And this past Wednesday was a Thursday when you were on. You came to like a wall. You couldn't list anymore. Talk a little bit about that and what happened when that listing that Thursday night.
Oh man, I have self-diagnosed ADD. I show all the symptoms for it and whatnot. So I have a very hard time focusing on things. You know, you can probably tell in the way that I talk and ramble and go off tangents. So it's really difficult, especially when I'm trying to get myself to list, to get it done. And that wall is so hard. And when I hit it. And I stop, and I just want to joke around, and I want to act like a ham, make myself, you know, the fool, you know.
Not you.
Who, me? No, no. So, yeah, so, it's just accountability is big for me, and especially with other people. So I need help, I guess.
Well, what I'm saying is, I notice that every time y'all listing, you are actually listing. I mean,
yes.
It's kind of hard. I mean, how do you do that to where I see a lot of people when they go to do a listing type video or they're live, a lot of times they're just not listing. So how do you, or how are you able to do that while you're live with someone on a show like that?
Well, it's the accountability of somebody being there. If it was just me, I'm sure I would be chatting with the chat all night long. So it's having somebody else there, and, you know, especially if it's a contest, you know, it's like, oh, how many items can you list? That usually motivates me to get it done, you know, and I'm a pretty slow lister, and I also really don't like listing on eBay. That's a whole nother story. I'm a drama queen when it comes to that. It's like, I want to be able to put in like 10 things boom, 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 boom about the item, and I don't want to give its like whole family lineage to post it on the internet. Exactly. You know, I feel like eBay is like, okay, so what character was it based off of? You know, when it was originally designed in the factory. Yeah. You know.
New England Thrifter wants to ask, how often do you share your Poshmark, and how many listings do you have to make the algorithm work for you?
I list, okay, so like all other platforms, Poshmark favors those who are active on the platform. And so I share my closet at least twice a day. And it is much easier now with the bulk list tool up at the top of your page. I participate in the Poshmark parties all the time. And I also try to list at least one thing a day, if not 5, because 5 is like the key that you really start to see the people liking and sharing your items. You know, that kind of opens the door. So another thing that I want to touch on too, to help with the algorithm, is whenever a platform comes out with a new tool, you have to use it. So I noticed like the bulk share tool. I was like, I was on Dina's channel and I was like, oh my gosh, I have access to the bulk share tool. Let me use it. I literally used it that night and I woke up to like, I think 15 sales.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, incredible. And when Poshmark also came out with the video feature that you could add videos to all your listings, that is fantastic. That is a great tool and everybody should be using it. I don't use it as much as I should. You know, do what I say, not as I do.
I do, yeah.
But, you know, video is a great way for people to know exactly what that item feels like, sees, you know, is like in person. It's so hard to convey in pictures.
Right. And
yeah, so, but when I started using the video tool, I started getting more consistent sales. So, yeah, so share your closet at least once a day, if not twice. Always list something at least once a day. You know, it's a very active platform. You know, you have to be on and be in the moment. So also why I'm kind of like, I don't really want to manage eBay too on top of it, you know.
Right. Yenzer Picker has a question. I'm not sure if I missed it or not, but do you sell on Facebook Marketplace?
I do. Actually, I just sold a wetsuit on Facebook Marketplace. I saw that there was, I do like to sell random and weird stuff too. If I see something weird, I'll pick it up, regardless of what it is, if it's vintage or whatever. And I noticed that there was a new Tags wetsuit, and I'm knowledgeable of wetsuits because I dive, I swim, I live in Florida. I know what wetsuits are, and I know the expensive ones. Right. And this was a very expensive one, new with tags in a great size. It was like a 2X. So, and they only wanted $4 for it. And I posted it on Facebook, and it took a little while, but I sold it for $150.
Oh, wow.
So, because the company went out of business during COVID. So,
right. Now, when you're doing your Facebook, are you able to do shipping as well, part of your sales?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I usually try to add the shipping on there. But Facebook, I don't know. You know, I'm passive. It's passive. So it's not my baby. Poshmark's my baby right now. And
now, I know you and I had spoke a little bit before the show, and we're talking now. We're going to kind of shift it to your YouTube channel.
Sure.
You were talking about some things that you're looking at doing for your channel. Talk a little bit more about that part of it now, as far as I know you recently started, you're doing some videos. So talk a little bit more about your YouTube channel, what you are looking at getting done on your channel.
Yeah, so currently with my YouTube channel, I think I have 4 or 5 videos up, probably 4. I'm still getting in the groove of things for sure. Yeah. I don't exactly have a direction with my YouTube. I need to find my direction. And I feel like everybody has that growing phase, you know, like you start listening to a new podcast and it takes them a few episodes to get into the groove of things.
Right.
You know, I feel like it's at least going to take me about 10 videos to get into the mix, you know, and
Right.
It's like anything, you know,
Right.
training wheels before you start to ride a bike. And I would really like my YouTube to be something where I can put out goofy videos about reselling, but then also put out some, you know, like blooper reels and whatnot, and then also put out some really interesting content about educational stuff, like how to spot vintage, or, you know, what buying stuff for the style, or because it's not just about brand too, you know, fashion is an ever-changing. There is a great YouTube channel, and her quote is, fashion is not an island, it's a response. That's her quote. So it's a response to the environment in which humans are in.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few people who are like me, who are different and, you know, wear crazy stuff. But think about that for a second. I don't mean to get all philosophical. Sorry, guys, this is going in a ADD direction. So think about what, as a clothing reseller, you have to think about what the environment is doing to people now. You know, everybody's like, buy activewear, buy loungewear, because that's what's selling. It was what was selling during COVID because everybody was at home. People were, you know, doing that. But now the trend is people are going back to the office. People are going out. People want new clothing because they don't fit into their clothing anymore, you know, so on and so forth. I even forgot what the question was. Oh,
we were talking about your direction and your YouTube
God,
channel.
Johnny, stop me, please.
I love when you do that because you just never know where the topic is going, you know, and it makes me think of other questions while you do that. I like that. Also, don't call it that it's crazy that people are dressing differently. It's just called unique, which is true.
Yes, it is very true.
Fine, you're natural. Yes, she is. Okay. A question. Recommendation on handling when you get a new batch of used clothing items, cleaning, accessories, prepping items for sale.
Ah, yes. Okay. I will stay on track with this question. Okay. Johnny, accountability. You rate.
I'm trying.
You rein me in if I go off the rails.
I'll throw the fish line at you, okay?
Oh my goodness. I see Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. Okay. Hello. Yes, I love it. Don't change. You're right about that.
So, okay. Like 80% of the time, people will donate clothing that is already washed. So it's usually in pretty good shape. But, you know, that's what I did before. But now with COVID and everything, I separate into piles as soon as I get it home. So, well, I mean, okay, let's be honest. It sits in my car for about a few days, you know, in the bag. And so with COVID, I usually, I started just leaving stuff in my car for 3 to 4 days, you know, just to make sure.
Right.
I know it has a certain shelf life.
Right.
So I'll usually just leave it in my car for a week. You know, we all have those things that we just leave in their cars. But so when I'm ready to process it, I separate it into piles. I'm like, okay, doesn't really need to be washed here in this pile. Okay, so I have doesn't really need to be in the washing machine, yada, yada. In the middle pile, I'll do like washing machine stuff. So stuff that can be washed. And I usually separate between delicate clothing and, you know, not so delicate clothing.
Right.
And then I have like the dry cleaning stuff and the other really like hand washing items, or the specialty washing like silk ties and whatnot. If I see something, I'm going to be honest, if I see something that's dry clean only or, you know, is really bad silk, I'll usually pass on that because time is money, you know, but at the same time, if there's something that needs a small repair too, I'll still pick it up because not everybody can repair it. So it really depends on the piece. Okay, so back to my piles. See, I'm trying to stay on
I'm back to the question in case if I need to put it up there again for you.
For sure. So I will wash all my stuff, and the stuff that I don't wash, I still steam. I have a steamer, and the steaming will kill all the bacteria on the item, regardless of what it is. I usually steam everything. So yes, exactly. I steam everything.
Yep.
So especially, I usually get around the armpit area, like really good. Anywhere that has like direct skin contact with sweaty areas, sweaty areas.
Yeah.
I tend to steam a lot. And yeah, and that's about it. So, and then I process everything and make repairs to stuff. You know, I sew. So if I see like I've never found like a Gucci or anything with a button loose or whatnot, but yeah, that's what I do.
So if there's anything, for example, you were talking in reference to the dry clean only. So you don't pick up anything like that at all? Or how can you tell if it's actually dry clean before you pick it up from wherever you're at?
So with the dry clean stuff, it'll usually say if it's dry cleaned, all the newer stuff. Also, if it's a certain type of material. So along with the Bakelite, because I've been a seamstress and I know what fabric feels like. I know this is a viscose. I know this is a polyester. I know this is a cotton. I know this is a linen. I can tell by feel of the fabric, and I know what care instructions come along with that fabric. Mm-hmm. And that is something really nobody can teach you. That is something that you have to actually get your meat paws on and kind of feel it around.
Yeah.
So, so that takes time and effort. I will come back and talk about a little tip that you can, I have for identifying natural fibers versus man-made fibers. So, I will circle around back to that hopefully and talk to you about that. But, with vintage, it's really important to be delicate with anything. So I hand wash a lot of vintage stuff that doesn't have any care instructions. So, but yeah, with the 80s stuff, because remember, 1980s mimicked a lot of the older styles. So fashion always comes back around.
Right.
So you can pick up and in your listing, put a 1980s piece that is 50s, that is 40s. You know, this is a 1980s piece that has a 1940s silhouette.
Right. So,
and it's all about knowing your silhouette, your fabric stuff. And this is a polyester dress, so I can just toss it in the wash, you know?
Now, Kathy came in with a question. Kathy's Corner says,
yes.
Can you repair a zipper on a Louis V purse?
Louis Vuitton purse. Yes, there are ways to repair it. Would I? Probably not. It would depend on the purse. It's all weighing that balance of time and money. But there is also other people who can repair that too. So it's, you know, is the purse worth enough for you to bring it to somebody else to repair it, or try repairing it on your own? You know, how much did you get it for? Did you get it for free? Then you don't really have any risk in it, right?
Right.
And learn by doing too. You know, sometimes you buy stuff and you learn, you know, I'm like, oh, I bought that for $10 and I only sold it for $6. Oh my goodness. You know,
you paid somebody to take it from you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, you make mental notes. It's all by learning by doing. So
if somebody would say, for example, there's somebody who's thinking of a niche to go into, or niche, and they're thinking about vintage clothing, what would be some of the tips you would give them for maybe thinking about getting into that type of clothing, and they want to get into it, but they don't know much of what to do? What are your tips on that for them? I
did see Kathy's thing. It is a 1950s purse. Yes, I would take it to somebody to repair.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't attempt to repair it myself. And that, I mean, I know that's easier said than done too. But just start communicating with people, you know, hey, I'm looking to repair this purse. Give me a quote. Or do you know anybody who specializes in antique repairs or purses? Or just deep dive on YouTube. You know, if you feel confident enough that you can repair it, then, you know, take the plunge. Look at it. You know, if you've never repaired a zipper before, I would suggest taking it to somebody else.
Yeah.
If you are a seamstress that has years of experience and know kind of how a zipper works and how to install them, then yeah, sure. I would try. If I had the purse, I would try to repair it. But okay, so going back to your question.
Yeah. I was gonna bring you back in for a second. Now,
yes.
For example, though, if you're searching for something online, especially in this situation, like this type of purse, you want to make sure you go and check out somebody's, like if they're on Facebook or any social medias, you want to make sure you do your research and seeing what are their feedbacks. You know, if they have a lot of feedbacks, whether it's good or bad, definitely before you send something like that to a person of some that you don't know, you want to do your research and see what is their background, what is their feedback. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So back to the question about tips for those who
helping somebody
vintage.
Yeah, to start in vintage.
Right.
I would say if you want to start really in any category when it comes to clothing, you pick one thing and know it well. So you want to, it's easier said than done because, you know, if you pick something so specific, like phone cord purses, you know, those were really big, I think in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're hugely popular on Etsy. And they sell for really great money. But, you know, are you really going to find one every day in the thrift store? No.
Probably not, no.
So basically just, you know, pick like activewear, you know, and start knowing your activewear brands. Start really focusing on, you know, what activewear sells more than others, and always set yourself up, you know, with your bread and butter items that you can sell on a daily basis, you know, that move pretty quickly, and then your high-end items that you sell on a regular, you know, every so often.
Right.
I think that's one of the best models to start. Clothing is always a bulk game. So the more clothing you sell, the more profits you will have. So, and again, I'm not an expert. I'm just letting y'all know what's been working for me and how I've been going. So you got to find your own path. Vintage nightgowns. Yes, you could do vintage nightgowns like every day. I know one specific lady, that's all she does is she puts on a vintage nightgown, she dances around in front of the camera, and she sells it. So yeah, for hundreds of dollars.
Do whatever you got to do sometimes to sell something like that.
Absolutely.
There's a peddling prophet has a question of what is your favorite platform to sell on?
Poshmark. I like not dealing. Yes, their fees are, was it 20%, but they deal with a lot of the customer service issues that I really don't want to deal with. And I love their shipping model. And I love when people make an offer and accept it, they pay.
Yeah. Now, you were saying earlier on your Poshmark that you go to some of the parties. I've never heard of that before when people are talking about their platform on Poshmark.
Yeah.
So what is that? Because that's the first time I heard you say that, and anyone ever say something about a party.
Yeah. So
how does someone do that if they're on Poshmark?
Posh parties take place during a specific time of the day, and they are a specific themed party, and it's kind of like a forum in which you can share that if you have anything in your closet relating to that topic. In that party, and people can go to the party and are like, it's an activewear party. So this will have all these specific activewear brands only shared in this one spot, and people shop.
Oh, okay.
From that party, you know? So, I believe it goes noon. Oh my gosh. Noon, 5, 7, and 10. are the times in which the parties start. Don't quote me on that.
So if you're going to this party and you're the one selling something, is it open to just anybody, or do you have to be on Poshmark to do it?
It's open to everybody on Poshmark. Okay. So, and what you do is you go to a little spyglass, and there will be a little box that says Posh Party starts at 5 o'clock. It is an activewear brand, and here are all the brands in which you can sell in that party. Mm-hmm. So, or share. You want to be sharing all to that. Anything that qualifies for that party, you want to share into. Now, the 10 p.m. party is you can share anything into. So I usually share my entire closet into that last party of the night, because there are people scrolling at like 3 a.m, shopping for clothes, you know. Oh, wow. So I always try to at least share something in that last party of the day.
Right.
So, and there's tons of great YouTubers talking about Posh parties and whatnot. I'm not a Poshmark expert, but if you haven't heard of the Poshmark parties and you're not using them, I would highly suggest you start to. You know, it's just another, remember how I said you have to share your closet at least once a day.
Right.
It's, you know, why not share it in a very specific arena?
Right.
You know? So.
New England Thrift says, does Anthropologies still sell?
It really depends on style and the age of the piece. So Anthropologie is kind of like Urban Outfitters in the way that they have a lot of different labels under their one big umbrella brand. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure you are up to date on the current labels with Anthropologie and knowing. I find that more natural fiber clothing sells more than polyester clothing. So anything like linen, silk, cotton, and always use those keywords too. It helps with your listing. It helps with the algorithm too. So just if you're going to sell Anthropologie, you gotta know Anthropologie. It goes back full circle. Here we go.
Yep.
Wrapping it all up with a bow.
That's right. So do you find it, are you able to, I know there's a lot of times when you go, like say to state sales, mm-hmm. and I know I see a lot of times where you find a lot of wool. Do you find that wool is still selling and coming back into the market?
Oh yeah. Wool's great. Wool is fantastic because when I find wool pieces down here in Florida, you know, nobody's looking at that here. So all the snowbirds come and leave their really expensive winter clothing here during the summer months.
Right.
And, you know, I can snag it for dirt cheap and resell it during the winter time.
Exactly.
To everybody around the country. So wool is as a natural fiber, you know, and especially merino wool too. So I always look for merino wool socks because of hikers. You know, the hiking people really like the socks and they're expensive. Mm-hmm. Anything smart wool will sell. And because merino wool gained kind of a good following during COVID because it's antimicrobial. So, well, that was a big word to say so early in the morning.
You did it pretty well, though.
Patting myself on the back. Good job, Kayla. So, yeah. Bye, Patrick. Say hi to Rainbow for me. I love his cat. I have a secret love for his cat. Right. But yes, wool is fantastic. Yeah. Yes, vintage linens are a great seller too.
Now, do you find when you're shopping or sourcing that you ever find a lot of old military outfits and things like that from the olden days?
Yes, I do. I do find some, especially pants, like men's pants. People never go into the men's suiting and pants section. You know, who does that? I do that.
Tom has a question. What's too much to pay for men's? I can't make out that word.
Pendleton shirts. Okay, it's hard to see in the chat on the StreamYard. Okay, so I'm probably not the best person to answer this question because I'm cheap, and I want to get everything under $3.
Well,
You know, regardless of what it is, if it's a Gucci or Adidas, I don't like paying up for stuff just because in my specific area, everything is already so hiked up in price. So it's, you gotta, you know, look at comps, and not all Pendleton's the same. Just like not all Lululemon's the same. It comes down to knowing the style, knowing what people want. You know, I picked up a Pendleton jacket that was, you know, it had a vintage Pendleton, had the beautiful label. I freaked out, but it, you know what? It's a suit jacket that's in gray. How boring, right?
Yeah.
You know, I got sticker shock from, I actually found a vintage Pendleton in the thrift store for under $2, and I bought it. It's still sitting in my Poshmark, you know.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, with the Pendleton, the patterns is what everybody wants. You know, that they want the Southwest style patterns on it. So if it is in a pattern for the shirts, I would buy it. And especially if you can get it for a really good price. So, but really, you know, it's not an easy question to answer.
The next one is popping up with a question. How do you deal with fur collars?
Fur collars. Usually fur collars can be removed on garments. So before washing any sort of your vintage, you want to make sure that you remove shoulder pads, you remove fur collars. Sometimes I even go as far as removing buttons too. Like if they have like the beautiful rhinestone buttons on them, or it's the buttons are bone or silk. Not silk. Oh my goodness. Bakelite. You know, I will remove all the buttons because, you know, we currently live in such an age of, how do I say it? Disposable stuff. Our clothing is disposable. And I don't want to get into a whole big, you know, fast fashion is killing the world, but I mean, it really is, you know, you know about it. And that's part of the reason why I switched to dressing vintage, is because I didn't want to buy another piece of new clothing other than underwear in my life, you know?
Well, it's a part of it. It's almost like a recycling. Right. Yeah. So fur collars, yes. So there will always be like tacking stitches. So it's these large stitches that are holding stuff in. Those are meant to be removed, you know, before leading up into about the 80s. Right. You know, stuff was supposed to be removed before washing, and you were supposed to know how to sew it back on, you know, after you washed it at home. So just take off, if you have a beautiful, you know, worth your time piece of vintage, or, you know, you have a bleeding heart like me and will, you know, try to rescue a piece that you paid $3 for and will only sell $6 for, you know. Let me ask you this about the furs. So, is it illegal to sell the furs now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's, it really depends on your state, but I think vintage fur, if it's over 10 years old, then it is considered, you can still sell it. Okay. And I do try to sell vintage fur just because I don't want that poor animal to end up in the landfill. You know, that poor animal already gave its life to be on somebody's collar. It's done. The deed is done. Yeah. You know, I don't support new fur being made, and fur especially. It's such an awful process to, you know, and you know, make do and mend, you know, let's start changing the world, you know, and not to get all preachy. I'm sorry, Johnny, you might have lost subscribers, but
Peddling Profit has a question. Do you pick up clothing just to sell the vintage buttons?
Sometimes if I see that there are beautiful buttons on a piece of clothing that has a giant like gunshot hole through it, yeah, I'll pick it up.
Gunshot through it. Wow.
Yes.
Buttons are bringing back more. Yeah, I actually bought a lot of vintage buttons. And it's amazing on how many times I can find a lot, say at an estate sale, and they'll have these what do they call them again? Like sewing kits and things like that have these lots of buttons, and it's amazing on how much they're selling for just the buttons,
For sure.
And it's amazing that somebody may be doing a new piece of clothing by bringing that into that piece. So you just never know who's creating what. Gotta love to go good seam ripper. Yeah, I have one I use a lot. So especially when you're sewing or you're quilting and things like, you always need that type of thing. So one of the good things about it is that's an easier way to remove buttons and things like that is by a good ripper.
Yes,
or a good I know a dude that wears used underwear from storage units. No, it's not me. It's just, okay, yeah, it's gone there for a minute, Mark. So, yeah. So if you have any questions for Kayla, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you have not subscribed to Kayla, her link is at the top in the blue box. Her link is there where you can go ahead and subscribe to her. Make sure when you go to the channel, if anybody's link that Jennifer's putting in or anybody in the chat, check to make sure when you go to the channel, if the word subscribe is in red, that means you're not subscribed. Just change it and make sure that you put in the notification for all notifications so you don't miss on anything that they're coming out with the video. Bye, everyone. Johnny, have a good breakfast. Good to kids. Well, have a good day. Thank y'all for coming. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open the chat now to whoever would like to come on and join us and chit-chat with us.
Yes.
Let me
come on in.
Link in. Copy
Oh,
that.
thank you, Roman. Thank you so much. I pretend like I know what I'm doing, but really it's just me floundering through life. I did want to talk about, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, I hope you don't mind. And anybody coming into the chat can have this conversation with us. I recently, so prior to me starting, seriously, casually reselling, because I say I do it casually because I'm a part-timer.
Right.
So prior to that, I did manage a whole bunch of social media accounts that had thousands and thousands of followers and subscribers and whatnot. So, let's see. I just typed a hat. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll get you a hat, Roman. No worries. You just tell me exactly what you want. Message me on Instagram. And I will look out for you.
Into a Debbie Gibson song.
No, I can't sing. I really can't sing. And Johnny can sing, though. He can sing for us. So
thank you, Tom. He said he really loves the knowledge and the great tips.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I managed large social media accounts for a little while, and I wanted to run kind of a social experiment on my Instagram. I was pretty stalled with my followers around like the 300 mark on Instagram. And I was like, okay, so over the next few months, I want to test wall post versus stories versus reels. What's getting more traction? Right. And so I started with the wall I wasn't really I get a few likes here and there and whatnot. And then I started with the stories. For the first about month, I maybe was getting like 2 or 3 views on my stories. And then I tried posting videos on my wall, just posting a straight video, my blooper reels, me in the woods with my Crocs, that sort of deal, to see if that, and I got a little more traction on my wall post based off of that. And then I started posting reels. So this is like Instagram's TikTok version of short format videos shot in vertical style. So I was getting a few hundred views, 100 views. My first one, I think it bottomed out at about 700 views. Wow. My second 2, the first one I didn't post any hashtags. I think I posted maybe like 2 or 3 hashtags on it. And then the two other videos were kind of mild views, about 100 or so. I posted a reel yesterday that got over, I think, 2,500 views within the first 45 minutes.
Wow.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
And what did you do different for that one compared to the other ones?
I put a very long description in it, longer than normal for Instagram, but I used minimal hashtags. And that's the thing. Instagram is now poo-pooing.
I love it.
Oh, I see Paul. Hi, Paul. How are
Paul,
you?
welcome.
Thank you. Instagram is now poo-pooing, poo-poo-poo, large number of hashtags. They want you to be very specific in the hashtags in which you use. Mm-hmm. So they suggest anywhere between 10 to 15 hashtags now, not the 30 that you're allotted. Well, I'm finding that the lesser hashtags, the more specific things you put on your post, especially when it comes to their new feature, like Reels. Remember, this goes back to whenever a platform puts out a new feature, you want to be using that.
Yeah.
So when you hit that sweet spot of exactly what Instagram wants you to do, you'll go. Right. You know? And everybody's chasing after that sweet spot. Again, that is awesome. Not an expert.
Right.
But when you see that one of your posts, you know, you consistently go from like getting like 100 views, you know, 200 views, and then all of a sudden you get that notification your video has reached 2,000 views within 30 minutes. You're like,
wow.
You're like, awesome. That's it. That's it. So, and then now you can follow that behavior and keep going on. I'm reading the chat now.
I'm just trying to say hello to a few people. I saw yes. Bonnie. If you don't know who that is, that's Bonnie, the Unique Store. Haven't seen her in a while, so it's good to see you back. Yes, I hit 1,000 subs. June the 2nd is when I got monetized. Mark Zygon Tiger, if y'all haven't seen his videos on moon pies, check it out. He is so creative about moon pies. It's funny. Paul now needs to list 200 products today to be the new Guinness Book of World Records. Good morning, Glenn from Swamp Picker. How are you doing? Good to see you. Seriously, I don't understand the pound. Yeah, it's just a matter of you having to figure out what's working best for you.
Right. And the thing is, you're not going to know it right away. You're going to flounder a little bit. You're going to hem-haw about it. But once you're into it, you know, let
me do this real quick. I want to say hello.
Yeah.
How you pronounce it? Kayla? Coley? You know what? Khloe.
Chloe?
I need to learn how to say that because my niece, just had a baby, and that's what they named the baby. She's just was born 2 days ago. Cooley?
I'm the worst at pronouncing.
Okay, yeah, Cooley. All right, thank you. Hey, Carmen. Well, hello, good to see you. Thank you for coming and watching the show. Let's see. Anytime says Paul. Oh, they're talking to Paul. Chloe. Okay.
Chloe. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Lord.
I was way off.
I'm so sorry.
Well, that's my new great niece. They named the baby Chloe. So, yeah. Was born yesterday, day before yesterday. I saw it on Facebook. That's how I learned about the family.
Yes, Chloe. I'm dyslexic, by the way, severely dyslexic. So I have a lot of, and I have nails. So I typo everything. So I apologize. You know, I have a disability, you know, when it comes to reading comprehension and whatnot. Wow. But, you know, I go with the flow.
Oh, that's so good. I notice every now and then I get a comment, say hello to someone because they're watching with them, and I love doing that. So that's good to hear. She was excited. So yeah, today, also don't forget, I do have the information for the YouTube channel link is in the description bar below as well. Kayla is still new. She's under 100 subs. As of right now, she came in this morning at 63. Now she has 68 subs.
Woohoo!
If you haven't checked it out to see if you're subscribed to Kayla, check it out and see. And again, if you go to the channel and it's red, change it to gray. That way you can make sure you subscribe to her. We want to get her subs up. She's been doing some content. So what is your new, and I know you and I talked a little bit about this before the show that you said you want to touch bases on in the live, was some of the ideas you have coming up for your YouTube channel on some videos you have all ready to come up or that you have to work on.
So one of my big ones that I have coming up is I have a I have a road trip, a girls' road trip we took back in July up. We hit 6 different states and and I just made a joke because I spelled Paul's name backwards.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I see it all the time.
Right.
So, but yes, I have a girls' road trip where we hit 6 different states and went camping and did some hiking. And then we also did some thrifting. But man, it's a beast to edit. You know, I'm still new at that, you know, but it's slowly coming out. And I really hope to get that out by Friday or Saturday because it's a 3-parter. So it's going to be a 3-part mini series.
Cool.
So, and then I went to the unclaimed baggage store in Alabama. So
oh, wow.
That's, it's a thing. So
I've seen some interesting videos on that at the baggage claim department that they sell stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a thing. I will definitely talk about it. I see Janet. Hi, Janet. Yeah. Sorry, I got excited. So I hate to leave you all on a cliffhanger, but please like and subscribe, and I will find out about it. And you'll get to see it not this week, but next week for sure. So
that's how you do a commercial for another show.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, so don't forget to drop your links in the chat. Also, don't forget, editing is what is editing? Yeah,
absolutely.
Don't know it, but yeah, it's a big job. So what is your thoughts of what you want to do, or your goals for, I know you're doing more of, your, online platforms. You're kind of staying away a little bit from the, eBay side of it, but you want to do more of the Poshmark. So what is your goals that you're looking at wanting to accomplish in the near future with your Poshmark?
So I want to continue on the track to, my first year, it was, you're always going to take a loss the first year. And that was building up inventory and whatnot. It's just like business. If you know business dynamics, you're going to take a loss. You're going to struggle the first year. And that's why I wanted to start it during COVID, just in case I lost my job, that I would at least have something in the works. So my goal was to never really go full-time. It's to always keep it part-time. I mean, it would be fantastic if I could go full-time, but I don't see myself. Unless lightning strikes and I go viral or something and go full-time via YouTube, or, everybody wishes for that. And it's, so, I mean, it's a possibility, but I like my job.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm very lucky in that I have a job that offers me benefits and whatnot, and I'm in a good place with my job, and I can balance my work life. So
you do work from home, correct?
No, I actually go back into the office now.
Oh, okay. Ouch.
Yeah, sad. I went back.
But you did work for a while though from home.
Yes, yeah, I worked a full year at home, and it was definitely a struggle going back. I mean, I could do a whole video on that, of just the psychological aspects of it. But for the short time, goals on my platforms is I want to make consistent sales. I want to at least, I gave myself minimal goals. Remember, I'm a part-timer.
Yeah. So
my goals are not going to be your goals too. I want to at least make a minimum of $500 a month just to start out. That's cool. If I break those, I'll reset my goals. I look at my goals every quarter. That's where I wanted to start. I was like, okay, first year, I didn't really know the platform, was giving myself a break. Hey, I made, what was it? I think I made like $4,000 last year on Poshmark, which is, you know, hey, it's something. It's $4,000 I didn't have, you know. Right. And then it's getting into the groove of it, knowing that, you know, knowing what to pick up at thrift stores and the learning process. So I'm like, okay, $500 a month, you know, moving forward, minimum. Sure. I'm breaking them each month. You know, right. I didn't accurately predict how much, you know, it would be, right. You know, and hey, that's great. You know, it's great. So
well, that's the thing about it. When you're setting goals, even though you may not make it, or you may break it to where you got to set new goals. And so that's how you will be able to know where you need to adjust your goals per quarter, because you're doing yours by the quarter. And so that's a great thing about it is once you set it and you achieve it, then you may want to give yourself a little bit more of an incentive to do more.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing you're doing it that way. It works different for everybody.
Set achievable goals. Yep. If you, yes, you can be ambitious and, you know, put yourself really out there and try your hardest to work yourself to death, but you also have to be honest with yourself. You know, exactly. I'm an ADD mess. Yeah. I have to set goals that I at least know that I can somewhat achieve, you know, and I'm not going to be hard on myself when I you know, I am going to be hard on myself, but I'm not going to be hard on myself if I don't accomplish those goals. Right. You know, at least I tried. Yep. You know, if you don't try, then, you know, who knew this was going to be a self-help talk?
All right, so I see the numbers are going down in the chat.
Oh, so I'm scaring everybody away.
No, it's just that time. What I want you to do is tell everybody a little bit about what you have going on with your channel, right? Your ideas, and then leave with a good thought of something that you would want to leave everybody with, as far as a positive note on what they should do, or I'd say what they should do, but an idea of something you want to give them as a like a food for thought.
Okay.
And it's yours. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. Hello. So if everybody is kind of coming in late or doesn't know who I am, I'm gonna give the spiel again. So because I always come in like in the last 10 minutes of every live, and I'm sorry, everybody. YouTube does not notify me about lives until like the very last minute. Anyways, hi, hello, hi, how are you? My name is Kayla, and I go by Treasures Noir on all my social media platforms and my Poshmark closet. And I like to sell vintage clothing. I do sell other things. If I see a good deal, I pick it up. And also I like to sell nerd-themed clothing too, and accessories, shoes, belts, everything. If it's weird, I usually buy it, and it's usually on my Poshmark. So, why, yes, hello, Patrick, hello. So I like to buy all that. I recently started YouTube. I'm only a few months in now. I have a few videos, and I need to be consistent with it. So, food for thought for everybody. Consistency shows progress. If you have to be consistent, know what's important in your life, and know what, know yourself personally, and don't be hard on what goals you can achieve. So if you know that if you start, great example, if you start a YouTube channel and have a full-time job and also a full-time Poshmark closet, and are a social butterfly and loves to talk to people, you might not be able to do the dishes for 2 months. So yes, get yourself a dishwasher then.
Yes, indeed.
When life throws you a bone, pivot. Always be flexible. So
I love it.
No, my dishes did not pile up for 2 months. It was just
thank you for clarifying that.
the other person in my house had to do the dishes, and I kind of got in the doghouse a little bit.
Oh no!
So Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry to him too. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So anyways.
It happens. I'm going to bring him on because I sent a message and he hasn't replied to me. So we're going to bring on Patrick.
Patrick!
Why, yes. Hello there. Good
Hi,
morning.
Patrick. Hello.
It is almost the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour here on the East Coast, and I am just waking up.
Oh, really? Wow.
Somebody did a late night show last night. What was the question, Johnny? I missed it. Good sir.
I'd asked you if you want to come on now or after. Being you didn't answer, I went on ahead and brought you on now.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
It was in the private chat.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Ah, there it is. Hey. Patrick has no idea what he's doing. He just makes it up as he goes along. But darn it, I make it sound good.
Oh, I see Roman asked if I sell Lululemon. Yes, I do. I do sell Lululemon when I find it. And if I find it for a good price, because sometimes their stores will price Lululemon to be Lululemon, and then sometimes they don't know what it is and don't price it. I will only buy it when people don't know what it is, and it is for like a few dollars. So
I'm going to ask you a question real quick. Is there any particular brand that you look for, even though I know you're talking about the type of vintage clothing that you do sell and your accessories? Is there any particular brand that you look for when doing the sourcing with vintage clothing?
No.
Okay.
Not. I mean, there are big brands. You know, I would love to find a Worth gown. You know, they made Worth gowns up until the 1950s.
Right.
And they are hiding out there in the world. And a lot of, like, I think it was like 70% of Worth gowns have not been discovered.
Oh, wow.
So everybody knows like the house of Worth, you know, but also not everybody knows about it.
I don't.
So.
Yeah, I went to see your Poshmark on your link tree, and it says not found.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Let me see something real quick. Do you have it on your?
I will bring up my Poshmark closet real quick. I know why.
Page.
I changed my name on Poshmark to be.
It's not Lady.
No, it's not Lady LeBlanc. That's my like mate. That's my family name.
Okay, so what you might want to do is on your about page on your YouTube channel. Go back and change it because it's still showing that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. If anybody wants to look at my closet,
there it is.
Take a look. There it is.
There's our channel for the featured channel for the week, Jigsaw Jens. Hello, good morning, and welcome. She's on vacation in Orange Beach, Alabama. Just woke up to join y'all. Definitely cool. And Amber's in the house. I just noticed I don't know if they did it last night or today. I did see a post that they're getting ready to do a new, if you know you're a reseller, I submitted something for this one because it was something that we did while I was up there. So, yeah, hopefully we get to check it out. There's her Poshmark store.
Yes.
Check it out.
And I will go fix my link tree as soon as I'm off this. Thank you so much for letting me know about that.
It's also the same in your about page on your YouTube channel.
Okay.
So just to remind you on that.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, everybody. Oh, Jigsaw Jen does not have a wrench. So anyway, Jen is our featured channel for the week. She's just starting out. Last week we were at the lake house and we noticed that she was new to the channel or new to the community. And so we were all subbing to her. I think she was on one of the channels that we were watching. I can't remember which one it was on, but we were like, Robert was number 11. I was number 12. The next morning we wake up and she's back down to 1. So
yeah.
So here's the feature channel for the week, and we need to change that. So if you haven't checked it out, check out the community page of the channel here, and all her information is in the community page. Yes, it was last night. I need to go check it out. I did see that this morning. So there you go. We got your new follower for your Poshmark.
Excellent. If you want to spend your credit with me, you can. You know, not twisting your arm. So you know that's on you, but you know I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
you just need to go do it. Okay,
that's right. So don't forget today, every Tuesday and Thursday, don't forget that Dawn and Mary from Two Hip Chicks are going live. So definitely check them out at 12 o'clock. They'll be coming on every Tuesday and Thursday so that you can check them out as well. I know some things all fall on you, you forget. Yeah, you're right about that. So don't forget to drop your links in the chat. Follow her on Poshmark. Kayla is basically, that is her main platform. that she sells on. All that information is in the description bar below. If you missed it in the show or you come back and rewatch the show, everyone's links will be in the chat. So with that being said, make sure you drop your links to your channel and or any special events you have coming up. Don't forget, today at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern is the Holla Dollar Money in Motion. We are at the final brackets to see who will go on to win the title, or will Lucky Charms Wendy keep the title. So hopefully we'll finish that today. And I will be having some announcements to make on the show today, so come and check it out. Also, tomorrow is the Hump Day auction at 3 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. Don't forget to check out when you go to someone's channel and you go to the channel, if it says subscribed in red, change it to gray. It means you're not subscribed or you lost their subscription to that channel. Also, right next to it, there's the 3 bells. Make sure you hit the top one that says all notifications, so that way you won't miss out on someone. And again, sometimes it does happen where you're not getting any notifications. So what I do when that happens, I will go back, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and hit the bell again to refresh in that. So that may help. There's Amber's link to You Might Be a Reseller If. That just came out last night, so definitely go check that out, because they've been doing a really good bit of ideas from people who are sending these ideas of you may be a reseller if, and it's been an ongoing thing. So if you haven't checked it out and you have an idea for something, make sure you reach out to Amber or Mike. It's always on Amber's channel, though, and that way you can be part of it as well. So before we go and end the show, we're going to go around real quick. Being that Patrick just joined us, go ahead and let everybody know a little bit about your channel and what you have going on for upcoming for this week, and we'll start with Kayla.
Hi, everybody. I'm back again, full screen and in your face. So
I love it.
I hope you all are having a wonderful morning, whether you're working and lurking or, hanging out with us in the chat. I appreciate you, and I want to give a big thank you to Johnny and everybody in this community who has supported me from the beginning. It's really sappy moment. Yeah, sappy trigger. Here we go. I have never been so loved in a community so quickly, and I appreciate you all, and I hope you are having a wonderful day, and no matter where you are in your life, I hope just know that you're loved and that you're worth it, and you're amazing, so you can reach for the stars. Anyways, okay, here we go. My name is Kayla. I'm a vintage clothing reseller, and I also sell other stuff too. And just go check out my Poshmark closet. There's a lot of weird stuff in there. So,
and then also, you're looking forward to something you can already put on your channel?
Yes, I have. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. I love you. So I'm hopefully coming out with a new video this weekend, either Friday or Saturday, showing my girls' weekend road trip to some fun places. And yeah, I will be consistent on YouTube. I'll at least put a video out a week, regardless if it's a short video or whether it's a long format video. I will try to be consistent. And if I'm not, please hold me accountable.
All right, and then look forward to her series coming up. And next is Patrick. What you have going on your channel, Patrick?
Oh my goodness, Patrick! It's Annabelle.
Hello, Double Fines. Hello, and welcome. So what you got going on your channel this week, Patrick?
Where am I at? I don't know. I am all over the place. My goodness. I am, let's see. Tonight, I believe I'm going to be on Horizon Picks channel. They're doing a little auction. Wednesday night, there's Late Night Live with Patrick Murphy, which is technically Thursday morning. Thursday, I'm back on Collecting Chaos. I'm with the Peasants. Seems like there's another show. Collecting Chaos, the Peasants, something else. I don't know. Friday, I'm on another auction. I believe Miss Kayla's on that auction too. Yes, she is. Leave it to Patrick to make a creepy white chalk. Anyway, Saturday I try to be off of YouTube and just kind of like chill. I Netflix and chill, or Netflix and kill. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm just around. That bottom line, I'm around.
Justin just came in. Hello. I know that smooth jazz voice. Hello, Patrick.
Justin's
again.
Awesome.
Hi,
Thank
Justin.
you so much for coming and supporting the morning show. And again, it's taking the time out of your day to come and be part of the morning show. Also, don't forget, if you want to be part of the morning show and be a guest, I have Friday open, but I also have some dates open coming the rest of the month. So reach out to me and we'll be glad to have you and an honor to have you as a guest to showcase your channel and anything you have you would like to promote with your channel. You're more than welcome to reach out to me and I'll be glad to have you on as a guest. And if I don't have a guest at any particular day, I do open the panel to everybody so that anyone can come on. You might want to come in tomorrow and see who is my guest for tomorrow, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they ever did a live yet, but they're always in the chat, always supporting everybody. So definitely come in and check out who that will be for tomorrow. You may have gotten a hint already. It was in the chat of a comment that was made in the chat, so you never know. I like to keep it a little bit of suspense, but again, if somebody says that they're advertising that they are going to be on the show, I don't mind them advertising it. But again, you're more than welcome to come back and check it out. And again, thank y'all so much. What you got going on your channel, Dawn?
Oh, hey, we've got a little live thing that we do.
What is that called?
Called Chick Chat.
Yes.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let me drop that link for today's show.
Definitely.
Man, look at you. You are just on it and just, wow.
I had enough coffee. Just
enough coffee.
I didn't. I forgot to talk about my live stuff. So I'm modding for Roy tonight on the auction with Patrick. So make sure you go and check that out too. So Horizon Picks channel. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dawn. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go. It's about you today.
That's right.
It's not about me.
It is.
But when I watched the show last week and I heard your voice, I said, "That's got to be Kayla. That's got to be Kayla." Yeah. And then realized it was you.
Yes. I'm showing up everywhere.
Voice in the background, yeah. That's another reason how you're able to get your name out there, because if they don't know, there's a lot of channels that, again, you're new at it, so to say. You do have 4 videos out there, but the more you get yourself out there, the more people get to know who you are.
Absolutely.
All right, so everyone, thank y'all so much. Again, don't forget today at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern is the Haladala Money in Motion, where there will be announcements made today, and also look forward to some changes coming to the channel in the future. We'll be talking about it occasionally here and there, but again, nothing major, just to let you know, just a little twist of what it will be. So with that being said, again, like I always say before in each and every show, love always, love is always free. Please be kind to one another until we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. And until we meet again, later. Peace out.
Bye, guys.